We turn now to a growing problem in this country, lack of sleep. Drug companies raked in nearly $3 billion last year on 43 million prescriptions for sleeping pills, and that doesn't include all the money spent on over-the-counter sleep medications. So why can't Americans fall asleep and stay asleep? In part 2 of our series, Sleepless in America, we take a look at our chronic deprivation, and ABC's Nancy Cordes is here with that. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. You know, 50 to 70 million Americans have some type of sleep disorder or chronic undersleeping that impairs their day-to-day performance. That's up to a quarter of Americans who are suffering from lack of sleep. And new studies show that the results can be a lot worse than just red eyes or grogginess.
Does Elizabeth Minahane's day sound anything like yours?
I will wake up first thing in the morning, and then basically from 9 o'clock to about 12:30, I'm on the phone trying to schedule interviews. From 12:30 till about 8 o'clock, depending on the day, I will be on foot. Let's not do a 5 o'clock.
Oh, fantastic.
That's fabulous. At the end of the day, it's about 2:30, 3 o'clock, you know, till I get home in the morning.
That's like an 18-hour day?
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Lack of sleep is a way of life for Elizabeth. But like so many people, this sales rep for a liquor company says she has no choice.
We've got salary plus commission, so I've got to work hard, and I've got to get those accounts.
The typical human needs between 8 and 8.5 hours of sleep per night. But Americans now get an average of 6.5 hours on weekdays and falling.
Americans with each passing decade are getting more and more sleep deprived.
What's worse, he says, we're now getting used to it and living with it.
A lot of people think, well, I haven't gotten enough sleep for the past month, and I'm just going to spend 10 hours in bed tonight, and then I'll definitely be at my best tomorrow. It's going to take them weeks to recover.
Dr. Charles Seisler studies the effects of sleep deprivation on the way we live our lives. He's found, for example, that when medical residents work those long 30-hour shifts, they are 7 times more likely to make serious mistakes. And guess what? If you shortchange yourself by even a few hours of sleep per night, the experts say, at the end of the week you will be just as impaired as if you pulled an all-nighter.
In fact, companies, when they have employees who are sleep deprived, experience what you might call presenteeism, where they're at work, physically present, but they're not working at nearly their full potential.
We've all been there.
Oh, are you guys ready to do raw dog shots yet?
I do get very run down. Mainly, I'm in and out of bars and restaurants towards the evenings, and I just look exhausted. But I have a lot of cover-up and concealers to try and mask it.
When the brain is deprived of sleep, it begins to short-circuit, if you will, particularly the prefrontal cortex responsible for judgment and decision-making. When the pressure for sleep reaches a critical point, a sleep switch in the hypothalamus flips, sending a person into a state of sleep. Even if they're chugging caffeine, even if they're driving a car. An estimated 80,000 Americans fall asleep at the wheel every day, resulting in about 8,000 deaths a year. And as America's sleep deficit grows, so does its waistline.
When we get an inadequate amount of sleep at night, there are changes in our body's metabolism that almost mimic starvation. So we have carbohydrate craving and we eat more.
Thus, if you are trying to shed pounds, one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal may be your pillow.
If you pride yourself on being able to fall asleep anywhere at the drop of a hat, that's not really a good thing. It means you're exhausted and that your body is plunging itself into sleep the minute it has the chance. Normally, Bill, the body should take about 15 to 20 minutes to fall asleep.
Really interesting. Albert Einstein was a legendary power napper. What's the science on napping throughout the day?
NASA actually studied this, and they found that if you take a 26-minute nap, it will actually boost your performance by 34%, boost your alertness by 54%, but it still can't make up for that sleep deficit. So if you're getting 4 hours of sleep a night, you're going to need to figure out a way to get more.
Okay. Nancy, thanks so much.
Sure thing.